Hi everyone. So I just wanted to elaborate more on the story between me and Mikey and like how things are going with that and basically what has happened between us. I won't be talking much about Tate and Kate during this. I'll add some facts, but then again, it is like hearsay technically. So I'm going to be mainly sticking to my story and why I believe I'm in the right. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Me and Mikey had met through a mutual friend, and we had gone to some shows together, and at one of these shows they asked to kiss me, and I said sure. So we kissed, and things kind of escalated, and we started like being romantic with each other, and that's where it ended up to how it is today. So that was in the summer, like July to August of 2023, and then when we didn't go to shows and see each other, we would just like text and stuff like that. So they invited me to come to homecoming with them as their plus one, and I accepted it and I agreed, and I went into Guelph on November 1st, I believe, of 2023, and we went to homecoming and we had a nice time. We were dancing and stuff. We were hanging out with our mutual friend and whatnot. And then when we went back home to their house, we started getting it on, I guess we could say. We started to kiss, and then things escalated from there into oral play, I'll put it. I don't want to get this video taken down, but that's what it was. And it started off as me giving it to them, and it was okay. So basically we both gave and received, but before it was my turn to receive, I went to the washroom and I cleaned myself up. I remember I had been drinking and I had been smoking weed that I had brought, but Mikey had supplied me with some shots because they wanted to pre-game a little bit before homecoming. So before homecoming, I took, I think, 2 shots. I can't remember a little bit, but they did like 1 shot or half a shot. They didn't smoke weed. And so I was still feeling it and stuff. And even when we came home, I took another shot. So I had 3 shots and I had Lord knows how many puffs of my dab pen. So I still consented to it. Obviously, I'm not gonna be untruthful here. This video is all about telling the truth. So I still consented to it, and it was pre-planned, and I had no problem like doing it while high or drunk. I know people say you can't consent, but trust me, I consented. It was fine. So basically went back to the room, and then they said, hey, they had mentioned a vibrating tongue ring, and they had said, hey, you want to like try it still? And I was like, yeah, sure. So they went to the bathroom. They were in there for a while, and then the battery got stuck. This isn't really important, but the battery got stuck in the little thing, and then they asked me if I could fix it, and I couldn't, so we didn't end up using that. We gave and received each other. After that, they took me into their school because it was a school day. So now we're on November 2nd, I believe, of 2023. And I could try to find some things from my story because I remember posting, obviously, on my Instagram story stuff of us like hanging out and stuff. So I could try to find time dates for that. But I remember it was right before my birthday. So we went to their school and we hung out there. It was all good. And then I went home later that day. So they would reply to my story saying things like hot, this and that. And I remember this one time I said, thank you. I would say the same for you, but I can't say anymore because I'm in a relationship now. And then basically they were like, oh yeah, that's cool. Are you guys exclusive? And I said, I don't know what that means. And they're like, is it only like monogamous? I was like, yeah. And then we kind of like drifted a little bit apart after that, and I was a bit disappointed because Mikey had introduced me to the punk scene. I had no idea where it was before I met Mikey. So they introduced me to that, things like going to shows and like knowing where to ask for shows and stuff like that. And basically we just kind of drifted apart. But I do remember this. at their school is when I met Rebecca, and Rebecca asked for my Snapchat, and I said sure, because I'm a friendly person. I have no problem making friends and stuff. And the whole time Mikey seemed very jealous and like weary of that, and Mikey had said, "You're never gonna hear the end of Rebecca." And I was just like, okay, like I didn't know if they were joking, because they seemed to be friends, like a little bit, or friendly to each other. So me and Rebecca started talking more, and me and Mikey started talking less. And I would go into Guelph to see Rebecca. We would call and stuff. This one time I went into, or I guess the only time I went into Guelph to visit Rebecca was February 28th, I believe, 2024. And me and Mikey hadn't been like talking as much as we used to. So on the way there, I was texting Mikey saying, "Hey, guess who's coming to Guelph?" And they seemed very short and distant with it, like they didn't really care, or they were busy or something. So when I got off the bus, I asked Rebecca, "Is Mikey okay?" Because like they haven't really been texting me, you know, like they've been very short. And Rebecca says, "Yeah, they might be going through Nick withdrawals, like, so I think they're just like very antisocial." And I was like, okay, that's understandable. And then me and Rebecca walked around a little bit, and we ended up running into one of Rebecca's friends, and we started talking. You know, this was the first time I met Rebecca's friend, but not the first time I heard about her. And so we start talking more and more, and I said, like, yeah, Mikey's not really been texting me, da da da. And then we'll refer to them as Little Birdie. Little Birdie says, "Girl, Mikey has been saying stuff about you." And I'm like, what? I was kind of hurt. I was like, how could you? Because I thought we were like really close friends. Like me and Mikey seemed like two peas in a pod. And so then Little Birdie says, "Yeah, I heard from Mikey's ex like stuff regarding you smelling down there." And I was like, what? Me and Rebecca gasped. This is the first time we heard this. Like, this was literally the first time we heard it together at the same time. And after that, I was kind of bummed out. I bought like these little Valentine's cards like a kid would give to their classroom, and because they were alien themed, and I thought they were cute, and I was gonna write on them and give them to my friends. So I wrote some for Rebecca, I wrote some for Mikey's friends that like they had introduced me to. And so I took the one I wrote for Mikey out of my bag, and I erased it all, and then I ripped up the ones of their friends and just threw it like in a sewer or something. I don't really remember, because like who was like, you know. And then I rewrote it to Little Birdie, and then me and Rebecca went home to their house, to her house, sorry. And then we were kind of like, this is like kind of fishy, like I don't know why Mikey would be saying this kind of stuff about me. We were like, I don't know why Mikey would be saying all this stuff about me. And so we just decided to ignore it. I was really hurt by that, because it's kind of a really misogynistic thing to say to someone, to say about someone. But I'll try to be mature in this video, and I'll try to like keep the like immature stuff out, even if it is true. And so basically Rebecca did my makeup, and we were playing card games. We were just kind of like thinking about it. And then I posted a picture of me and Rebecca after Rebecca had glammed me out, and Mikey had seen it and replied, "Hey, I'm still like in Guelph," or something like that, like, "I'll be in all night if you guys want to come stop and say hi." And I was like looking at Rebecca, and I'm like, dude, really? Anyways, so me and Rebecca kind of like were like, yeah, I'm not fly with this. Rebecca didn't want to be involved at first, so I will say that she didn't want any part in it. She didn't want like to, you know, she just didn't want any part in it, and that's that. So I left Mikey on scene, and then we went about like posting more pictures and stuff. And then Mikey said, "Message received, enjoy your visit in Guelph," or something like that. And then we enjoyed our night. We hung out with a couple of Rebecca's friends. When I went home, and I was really strung up about it. Like, I was really like, anxious about the whole thing because I don't know why someone would do this to me. And I guess I thought the punk scene was like smaller than I thought, because I thought that everyone would know Nikki has a smelly fucking vagina. And I was really like upset and hurt by that because I hadn't even gone to that many shows. I'd been to 3 shows in general. In that point, I had been to 3 shows. So afterwards, I kind of went about my like days just thinking about it mostly. I was going through a really tough time mentally too, because I was having trouble in high school, I was having trouble graduating, and I had a lot of stuff that was like weighing on me. So that was just another thing that was kind of like the snowflake on the avalanche, I guess you could say. And it really affected me mentally and physically, and it just made me really sad that someone could say that, because I miss kind of what me and Mikey had as friends, like going to shows and stuff. But anyways, so basically, sorry about that, I really don't mean to be like dramatic or anything, but basically after that, I was talking to my one good friend, my childhood best friend, about this whole situation, and I asked if they could go on call with me. I wanted to have a mature conversation with Mikey, and so she stayed on call with me the entire night. She even fell asleep on call with me. She stayed up past her bedtime for me. So the conversation went like that. I'm gonna put a slideshow up and you guys can like read it for yourself. So the date that this happened was May 7th, 2024, and you guys can pause and read at your own pace. These are all the screenshots of me confronting them, and it didn't really go anywhere. You can kind of compare this to like the things now and see like how their story changed, but then again, like it's up to you guys to decide, I guess. And some of these are screenshots, and some of them I had to take on this phone from my other phone, like a picture, because I didn't have any storage and they weren't in order, so I had to like reorganize them. Also, another thing to notice is I just like redacted personal information because they started like sharing their own personal experiences, so I figured I'd like take that out. But that's like how it went. Yeah, so you guys can see like it's kind of confusing a bit to read, but I can give you a rundown. So basically, like, Mikey said that only Phoenix knew about it, and then it was kind of like, how did Tate find out? And then it was like Tate has this pattern, and then it was Tate's jealous of this, like, and I don't know. At the time I was thinking, because I had never met Tate, I was just thinking, well, why would you be in a relationship with someone if they're just jealous of you all the time and they're jealous of what you're doing? I didn't say it. I don't know if I said it directly. I might have. I'm a little rusty, but I'm just gonna put the screenshots up. But yeah, so I remember like kind of questioning reality a little bit, and then Mikey had sent me a picture saying they had broken up with Tate, and I was like, I felt bad, like, genuinely, because I was like, bro, like, I hope I wasn't the fucking cause of someone's breakup. Like, I really hope I wasn't. I tried to make it clear in the text that I wasn't pointing the finger at Tate, and I kind of had a feeling Mikey wasn't really being honest, but I guess that's not up to me. So yeah, that's how that went. And then later there was some like drama where I heard from someone else that Tate,
He was low-key threatening that he might beat up you and anyone that says shit about their boyfriend, and they're willing to flip the wall for wherever. And what else? What the fuck did he say? He fucking said something about you calling their partner a rapist and a pedophile and saying that how would they be able to do that if they had that happen to them? I'm like, what?
okay, so I'm here to explain that, like, this was all after, this was me texting little birdie about the whole situation, after I'd confronted Mikey. And nowhere in those texts did I say that Mikey was a pedophile or a rapist, like, to their face or to anyone else. Did I ever say that? Was gonna beat me up and, like, was influenced by Mikey to do that. And I have screenshots to prove it. I'll try to get as much as I can. I'm kind of just going off memory. I'm not really, like, screenshotting and then stating it. I'm just saying off memory, and then if I could find the screenshot, I'll do that. So, that happened, and I was a little bit nervous because I was like, oh no, people are gonna, like, come to my fucking house. And then Mikey said to Tate that I am batshit crazy and I was trying to, like, destroy the relationship. This is from a third party that was friends with Tate. I think that's it for that year. And then, oh, there's this story. So it was November 28th or 29th, I believe, of 2024. So, like, the previous year, like the year before this one. My one friend who was still following Mikey, or like saw them, I don't know, something like that, mentioned it to me, brought it to my attention that Mikey still had pictures of us uploaded. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, like I don't want to be on their page, you know, like we're not friends anymore. And then I texted Mikey and I'm like, do you think you could delete these, because like we're not really friends anymore, it's weird. Basically they said, oh yeah, sure. I've heard bits and pieces from my friends now currently that apparently some of those pictures are still posted, so I don't know about that. I don't really care at this point. But anyways, so basically after that, not long after that, I believe maybe this was, I think this was right, like a little bit after my seasonal job ended, but I remember I had gotten in contact with a mutual friend of ours again, and they had not been in contact with the mutual friend anymore. So they had told me that Mikey was drawing like art that was similar to mine, to ours, that we made up, that we shared, and I was like livid. I'm really trying to be respectful. I'm trying to like actually like, you know, get my story out and stuff, but I was very pissed off at this because it was something dear to me. And during like all the anxiety and stuff I had when the rumors were first spread and I didn't say anything to Mikey, I turned to that to try and heal a little bit. I turned to Dickfish because I wanted to make it a story. I wanted to write about it. I wanted to draw art about it. I wanted it to be like a cool thing that like I could tell people about, like a whole world basically. So I turned to that because I thought it was like, it was sentimental to me and that friend, and it helped me. It was like my escape. So when I saw them doing that, they drew a pose that they were very similar poses. They also drew the fish creature, like hung up in like BDSM like thingamajigs. You can literally see there's Dickfish right there. That was made like March, February of 2023. They're very similar poses, and the character Dickfish was created actually very early in 2022. So this was when me and Leo weren't even like very close. It was kind of just like here, I have a poster that it was kind of just like a sign, like a fish. Like it was an inside joke turned into an actual thing. But then when me and Leo hung out in Guelph in March, what was it, March 6th or 11th or 12th of 2023, me and the friend actually decided to make it a thing, like make it like a character, like a human. So we were spray painting and he said draw Dickfish, and at this time this was the only thing that was like Dickfish. So I was like, how am I gonna draw that? So I ended up drawing one of these guys, or I could put a picture up, like a man with an anglerfish head, webbed ears, esca, like stuff like that. I didn't draw the man though, I just kind of drew the face. But So I drew that, and that was like in, I think the first date, I don't remember, but I'll put it up, it was in 2023. And then for my skateboard class, I ended up doing more Dick Fish because I really liked the character. I fell in love with the character. Here's a skateboard that I made, hand painted, and this was when me and Leo were falling out, and I was still connected to this character, kind of. So there it is. It's skateboard, Dick Fish. He was like a god kind of thing. And then there's also these sketches of like the concept art, because I wanted it to be my logo for skateboarding class. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm blabbing, I'm not staying on track. But it was created very early in, like, not very early, like 2023, like June kind of is when I started drawing more of him as a man, and I would post it on my story too. And this is, by now Mikey had followed me. So I don't know if I forgot to mention, but me and Mikey met at an event called Wildflower. I think that was March 6th, 2023. But that's when we first met, which Mutual Friends band was playing at. So there's that. And yeah, so that happened, and I was really uncomfortable. I cried. My boyfriend was over, and I cried because I just couldn't think of anything. Like, I think I'm overthinking a little bit, but I thought it was like disgusting because I really was like, this is like a really special character to me. Mutual friend had made a paper mache mask of like a dick fish, an anglerfish, kind of like, it was cool. And then not too long after, Mikey had made one as well. And it's weird because if I compare, I don't know if I'll have the two photos, but if I compare the two photos, Mutual Friends has a disco ball, and then Mikey's is completely a disco ball, and it says disco fish. So I don't know. But anyways, so I didn't confront them about that. I cried really hard though, and I told all my friends about it because it just, like, I don't know, it was special to me. It was sentimental. It was special to me. And me and the mutual friend that had made Dick Fish originally had kind of been falling out, so it was even more sentimental to me. I guess we can jump to now. I don't think there's any other things I need to say. We can jump to now, where I had been telling my friends more about Mikey. I had been like being more out and open, and I had been being more like, okay, like, this person's not cool. Even my like normal friends, like my preppy friends or whatever, they had known. My good friend Cunty Manager, she had said some stuff, because this was like, when was this? This was like this week. This was Tuesday. So Tuesday, me and my friend decided to like confront them, because she doesn't like people that do sketchy stuff, that do all this crap, like the whole thing with Tate and Kate and the like abuse and whatnot, what have you, like, that doesn't fly with her. So I was like, sure, you know what, why not? Let's just like see where we can go with this. And so we had the phone call, as you know, and if you go back and watch, there are multiple points in the video where Mikey was dishonest, where they were kind of unsure of their lies. Like, they weren't unsure, like, I don't believe I did those things, not I didn't do those things. And if you watch the full video, like, it's just self-explanatory. Like, I know that they did put a snippet of me saying I was blackmailing them. I was simply saying, the whole phone call, that's all like basically unedited as well. I know they posted a thing on their story where it said I was blackmailing them, and I was trying to post explicit photos of them. There was only a few explicit photos, and it was of us together. It was not of me sending them stuff and them sending me stuff. It was us just like making out, like with our tongues like out and stuff. That's literally it. I have never sent them nudes, or I don't remember if I did. I remember fully, have never sent me nudes. They would say stuff where it's like, oh, I bought this lingerie, I can't wait to wear it for you, but never was there a picture to my memory, and never would I have screenshotted or saved that, because that's personal, and I wouldn't want someone doing that to me, so why would I do that to someone else? I have no pictures on either phone of any explicit photos except for the tongue thing, because I knew this was going to come up one day. I knew I was going to have to defend myself, so I figured why not keep it as well. And they were the one taking the photo. It was on their phone. They edited it a lot of times and would send it to me constantly. There was another instance where we were both at the kill room and they suggested, I had had a couple of drinks, I don't know about them, but they had suggested that we like take a video making out and then flip off the camera. Something about so they can show their ex, or it was their ex's birthday, I can't remember. It was something along the lines of like to show their ex, revenge or whatever. And so we did it. I don't know if I have the video, but Mikey might, but there's that video. And they flip off camera. I was drunk, I forgot to do it, sorry guys. But yeah, there's that one. That's it. I believe the video was taken by Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was someone else. But that's the only thing to clear up the whole explicit photo thing. I do not have any. You can hack my phones and see I don't have any explicit photos of anyone for that matter. What else? The blackmail thing, I think it was pretty clear in the video that I was simply just saying, like, I'm gonna make sure everyone knows about the stuff you've done. And I wasn't trying to get anything out of them other than the truth. I was saying, if you tell me right now, I will not post the videos. But I thought it was pretty clear that obviously I was going to post it anyways. I mean, it just kind of makes sense, but I don't know. Some people see things differently. One of my friends said something that was really good, which is I don't have any explicit photos of them, and they're trying to say that I do, but they're constantly posting explicit photos anyways. And one of their friends, or one of my friends, said something about how they had pictures of when they were 17 and they just waited to post it until they were 18. But that's as far as I'll speak on that matter. Those are the words of someone else, not me. I will not be speaking more for anyone else. I will speak for Tate a little bit and Kate a little bit, but I am not going to speak for anything that I can't back up currently. So I'll just leave it at that. They posted some stuff on their story, and I can post all the screenshots of our conversation after they started texting Tate today. They and Phoenix started texting Tate today, and they were saying, like, trying to confirm, I guess, like, is the things Nikki saying about you is true? Like, do you really think that Mikey abused you, blah blah blah. Tate was on the phone with me the entire time today and was saying how he doesn't feel comfortable saying anything at all to them because he's afraid it can be used against them. He's afraid that they're gonna twist it and say it's a lie. And like Mikey said, there's no hardcore evidence, I guess, of the abuse, so I'm not going to really speak on that. I will say this, that we did have phone calls, and everything coming out of my mouth is what I've experienced, what has happened, what has Tate told me. But if we can't back it up, then I guess we can't back it up. I guess it's fine if it's not good enough. It's okay, because it's whatever. And then there were also some things that Tate told me about Kate, saying Kate was sent explicit videos of Mikey using a toy, and I had seen said toy, so I know that toy kind of exists. But yeah, they had shown me it, but we didn't use it or anything, and it was just a picture. That's the only explicit thing. That's the most explicit thing Mikey's ever sent me, is a picture of their toy. I don't really understand some things. The way Mikey kind of talks is a bit confusing. The way they talk to me versus how they talk to other people. They seem to be sweet and nice to me, but then rude and controlling of other people. In the past, if you compare my screenshots to Tate's screenshots, they seem to be it's more hostile with other people, which I've always noticed was kind of weird. but that's whatever. And I think I have gotten it all out of my system. Okay, so here are all the screenshots from today when we both started posting about it. Today was May 22nd, so there's that. Me and a bunch of friends were on the call, just like talking about how this whole thing was like crazy, and yeah. So I just want to say, I don't know if I mentioned, I want to actually apologize for how I acted. I kind of acted like a jackass. I just was really riled up about the whole thing and like bothered about it, but I wish I would have been more mature about it now that I look back on it. I'm pretty sure I have gotten it all out of my system. And of course I left out parts that were unimportant to the story. I tried to keep this video mainly about me, but the reason I'm like coming out and saying all this is because it had been eating me up for a while. I had gone to the hospital in April. This was like, I think a day or two before, and I don't know if it was purely because of what Mikey said about me, it was stressing me out so much, or if it was other things in a mixture, like a combination. But either way, I did go to the hospital, and I had a panic attack so bad that I was shaking, like muscle tremors. My jaw would not stop, like, you know, tremoring. I had to be helped down the stairs and into the car, and yeah, so there was that. So I tried to keep this video as on point as I could. I'm sorry if it's not long enough. I kind of didn't want to make a long video because I didn't want to edit, but I do understand if I'm coming forward, I'm gonna have to like have shit to back me up. So basically that's what I have to say. The reason I'm saying all of this is because of what I went through when I was 17. I felt like a part of my life was wasted. I felt like I was just played. I felt like I was just thrown in the gutter and then shit talked about. And I found out that this had happened to other people, and I felt sorry for them. So I wanted to speak for them too, because they have told me that they're too afraid themselves to say it, so I'll have no problem saying it for them. That is, I'm going by their wishes. I have no problem doing that. So I did this for my own healing because it was eating me up. You can ask any of my friends. It really was a major issue for a part of my life. It still is a little bit, but I feel that there's a weight off my chest now that I've come forward, because it is scary to come forward. That's also why I kind of waited a long time. It is scary to come forward, and with Mikey's history of not telling the truth, I don't believe that I am being misinformed. I don't believe that I am being like pranked or punked. I believe that this is all the truth, and I'm glad I came forward, because maybe there are other people that have not come forward or said anything and they have a problem also with Mikey. There are a few people Mikey has talked to me about. I can actually tell you the reasons. They're all in the screenshot, my reasonings for that, about how open they seem to be about talking about other people to me, and their like sexual encounters and stuff. So I have no doubt in my mind that they would do it to me, because I'm nothing to them, or at least not anymore. And yeah, I'm just like hurt by it all, kind of, and I'm still nervous. Like I came out, but I did it because I didn't want this to be an issue for myself, for my own mental health. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll answer as truthfully as I can, based off memory, based off this stuff. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I think I'm done talking now about, like, I'm just gonna let it like kind of settle, because that's all I have to say. I've said what I've said, I've done what I've done for myself, and mental clarity. Is that the word? So I've gotten everything off my chest, and that's all I wanted to do. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.
I'm gonna be fully honest with you. One time, it was the time we got back from Toronto, and I said to Tate that I was hanging out with you, and they're like, "Yo, Nikki's hot" and shit like that. And then they were talking about how, oh, but it smells like a turtle tank. I'm like, wait, what do you mean by that? That can't be true. And they're like, no, Mikey told me when they had sex, they did this, all that. I'm like, okay, but I don't believe that because I know that Tate doesn't want to be in a polyamorous, like doesn't want to have like multiple partners. They only do it because Mikey doesn't want to settle down with just Tate. Tate cries about it to me all the fucking time.